So God bless you. Thank you for joining me. So let's get started on the War Scroll. So I'm going to do the War Scroll actually by subject, not by chapters. It just works better this way. And I have two things that I want to share before we do that. Two things that were in the War Scroll that are also in canonized scripture. Now, we're not replacing canonized scripture with these non canonized books. That's not the purpose for reading them. When I went on my journey for truth, I was afraid to read these non canonized books because I didn't want to have something in my head that wasn't from canonized scripture. But after a time of studying and delving into the scriptures, I felt comfortable reading them. So, this Bible that you're looking at now, while I pull that away, this is an older Bible that I have. It has a lot of non canonized scriptures in there. And by reading these, I did find some interesting things. And they were things that were in canonized scripture, as well as things that sort of filled in some gaps in a couple of places, and I've talked about them before. We're not rehashing those here. But what I wanted to do was share something here from the War Scroll. So, and I'm going to show you where it is in canonized scripture because I think it's important that we have, that we have all that information. So, there is a section here where it talks about the descendants of Esau, it talks about the Moabites, etc. And so it speaks in here about the Moabites, that they were the descendants of Lot because Lot had a relationship with two of his daughters, of course, after Sodom and Gomorrah. And that's in the scriptures. So I thought that I would start by sharing this one thing and then I'll do the other, and then we'll get to these other topics, these other subjects. But so that was one of the things that was in here. Now, we know that after Sodom and Gomorrah, we know, of course, that Lot's wife, she looked behind him, she became a pillar of salt. It tells us that in Genesis 19. But then it goes on to tell us in canonized scripture from Genesis 19, beginning in verse 30, that Lot did have an incestuous relationship with his two daughters. So in Genesis 19, verse 30, it says this: Then Lot went up to Zoar and dwelt in the mountains, and his two daughters were with him. And he was afraid to dwell in Zoar. And he and his two daughters dwelt in a cave. Now the firstborn said to the younger, Our father is old, and there is no man on the earth to come into us, as is the custom of the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve the lineage of our father. So they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he did not know when she lay down or when she arose. It happened on the next day that the firstborn said to the younger, Indeed, I lay with my father last night. Let us make him drink wine tonight also, and you go in and lie with him, that we may preserve the lineage of our father. Then they made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger rose and lay with him, and he did not know when she lay down or when she arose. Thus both the daughters of Lot were with child by their father. The firstborn bore a son, and called his name Moab. He is the father of the Moabites to this day. And the younger daughter, she bore a son, and called his name Ben-Ami. He is the father of the people of Ammon to this day. So we see these things in non-canonized scripture that are found in the canonized scriptures. And I thought that it was important that I share that. So I have one more that I'm going to do on something that I talked about a long time ago that was in the War Scroll that lends credence to something in canonized scripture. Armor up, we ride at dawn. May God bless you as always. Have a great day.